Hello, younger old here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be turning the clocks back and basically talking about the era of the mods and the rockers. Stay tuned and watch the intro. Now, here's a scary thought. On the 18th/19th of May 2024 will be the 60th anniversary of the Seaside Battles between the mods and the rockers. So even an oldie like me was only 6 years old when that happened. So let's say to be involved you would have to be 16 to 18 years old average. And now that would make you between 76 and 80 years old now. It makes me smile. These guys will no doubt be saying, today's youth. I remember being at school and the school bully would approach you and say, "What are you today? Are you a mod or a rocker?" And strangely enough, he would always be the opposite, so he could just punch you. Sometimes you might have a mate with you who might say the same as you, so at least you could both hit him back and send him off crying to the teacher. The punishment was severe. No little bottle of milk for you lads. And then it all just disappeared. I never thought any more about it until The Who released their film Quadrophenia. Sitting there in the pictures and thinking, that's what it was all about then. So you basically had the modernists, or mods. They were of the age of the early baby boomers, and they were earning money, some of them probably as much as their dads were earning. But they rebelled about everything their parents stood for. They wanted to be original in their ideals, their looks and their music. To the mods it was all about the style, mostly Italian, with their suits tailored very slim, and they'd use that for the best clothing, and then nice, clean, slim, smart jeans and a polo shirt for casual wear. And don't forget the classic Parker coat. Their music was like Motown, soul, ska, as well as bands like the Small Faces, the Yardbirds, and not forgetting The Who. They could afford motorised transport. A scooter, a Lambretta or a Vespa were the scooters of choice. Very clean, usually adorned with loads of mirrors and lights, and aerial with the foxtail on it. They would attend clubs playing their chosen music, and they did like to party a lot. Sometimes this involved certain amphetamines. As I mentioned earlier, they were rebelling, and this was something their parents would have found borderline immoral. They looked upon the rockers as dirty, greasy individuals who rode uncool, large and loud motorbikes with greasy everything, from their brill-creamed hair to their leather jackets full of studs and not so clean jeans. Even the bikes leaked oil, probably the reason for the not so clean jeans. The weight of these jackets with all the studs is unreal. I can imagine someone sliding down the road with sparks flying everywhere, and the studs would not just get, they get hot, so you'd be able to see the pattern of all the burn marks in the skin. The rockers stood for everything the mods hated. Even the rockers' music was an American-based rock and roll, and the mods thought that was old-fashioned and outdated. There may have been some truth in this, as I read that mods' parents would have probably listened to the rock and roll like Eddie Cochran and Elvis. The mods would have never listened to the same music as their parents, as a matter of principle. Now back in the 60s, you didn't get many pubs that played music, so the youth of the day would probably go to coffee shops to meet and mates and listen to their choice of music on the jukebox. So you'd have had coffee shops favoured by the mods and sort of transport style cafes favoured by the rockers. Now we've all heard of the famous Ace Caff. The Ace Calf and others like it are the reasons we have the calf style race motorcycles. If you've never been to the Ace Calf, do so while you still can, before some zone appears and the only things allowed there will be either a push bike or to walk it. Look back at youth culture through the ages, and there's always been certain rivalry between groups, and incidents of violence will always happen. Back to 60 years ago, now it is mentioned that the Seaside riots were not as bad as the papers say it was. Apparently it was all inflated. You know, would you believe to sell more papers? Same thing happens nowadays. About 15 years ago, I was at a bike meet in Hunstanton, and there was a group of mods and a group of rockers there, but they were just having a natter with a bit of banter thrown in for good measure. Some of them were younger guys, new to the scene, but there was quite a lot of the original, as I would say, real deal mods and rockers there. I sort of went over and I was having a chat with them both, and it was hilarious. Some were still giving the insults to each other, but in a humorous manner, whereas others were saying nothing, just scowling from the rear of the group. I can imagine them thinking, 45 years ago I'd have been giving you a slap, mate. I remember one of the mods showing me, and he was so proud of his original Parker coat, saying, I still wear this after all these years. He proudly put it on to show me. I was in no position to say anything, but it didn't do up. There was at least a 6-inch gap at the front. What is good is that the enthusiasts are still out there to keep these groups still going. The scooter scene is very big. Just look at all the rallies that still take place. They get together, show off their scooters. The artwork on some of them is just amazing. They still get to enjoy the music, dress in the clothes. I had a mature rider who was doing his bike test so he could ride a larger CC scooter that he had restored. His other ones were 125, so he just kept taking his CBT to ride them. But for the larger one, a few cc more, he was having to get a full bike licence. For him, it was all about keeping the scooter scene alive. Likewise, there's plenty of groups of bike riders who are interested in the golden age of motorcycles, and they still ride the classic bikes and wear all that, leather gear. I say good on them all. It's great that they go to the trouble to keep these classic machines going, so everyone can enjoy looking at them and learning from them. So let's go back to that school bully. What would my answer be to his daily question now? Well, I prefer a bigger, more powerful bike. I've never been interested in sort of nice clothes, so that leans me to the rocker side. I do like most genres of rock music, but not so much into the rock and roll. I do like the Who, but now they're more of a rock band than a mod band, so I guess I'd be a mocker. Just a note, according to Wikipedia, the name rocker came from the rockers that were in their 4-stroke engines and not the music. So I hope you enjoyed this little jump back in time with me. Still can't believe it's 60 years ago. But anyway, if you've enjoyed it, please do the ticks to like and subscribe. And as always, take care, ride safe, and bye for now.